I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Silly Jedi, silly Jedi.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Hello, what have we here?
Hello there.
At last! Where have you been?
Nice of you guys to drop by.
Ah, good. New acquisitions.
I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this.
Hey everybody, welcome to Jedi Toy Masters Star Wars Car Talk. And this week, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't really have anything planned. You know, previous episodes, previous recordings, I had somewhat of an idea of what I wanted to talk about, especially with the lead up to The Mandalorian coming out, and then those first few episodes being released. Obviously, you know, before that we talked about Rise of Skywalker and the TV spots and the final trailer and all that. But you know, I wanted to kind of just dive into whatever's on my mind right now as a Star Wars fan. And I gotta say this, and I think I said it in previous episodes, you know, I really am tired of, and it's a love-hate thing, because we all love Star Wars content, right? We all want more Star Wars content, and we are obsessed with like leaked footage and leaked images, and we're obsessed with just seeing extra snippets of things that we're like, oh my gosh, so that in our minds we are already kind of like putting together a print of the film of The Rise of Skywalker in our mind based just on images and footage that we've seen. And every time we see a new little clip, everybody freaks out over it, everybody posts it all over social media. You know, all these TV spots and international trailers that come out, they just put out more and more little scenes and clips and like quick shots and stuff. So all of these images, it's like we all put them in our brains, and we are kind of like editing this movie together and then filling in the gaps with our imagination and speculation and fan theories. And you know, it's fun to do that, and it's, you know, and it's just fun, and it's like a guilty pleasure, but I hate it because it just ruins the experience. Like we are ruining it for ourselves, and the marketing people over at whatever is handling the release of this movie, they're ruining it for us, because it's just been like, oh man, like TV spot after TV spot and clip after clip, and these images, and oh, look at these photos, these images from the movie, and look at this shot of Poe, and look at this shot of Rey, and what planet is she on? Where is this? And you know, one of the last TV spots that I was scrolling through Instagram, and I didn't notice that the audio was on. And all of a sudden it starts playing, and you hear the Emperor's voice say a new line that we haven't heard before in the previous trailers. And I'm like, and I just kept scrolling, and like, I've been trying to stay away from it all, you know, from all this extra stuff that we're getting, promotional stuff that we're getting, because I want to be completely surprised. Like I want to sit in the theater on December 19th, and I just want to like not know what I'm going to expect. You know, like I don't want to be watching a scene and then be like, oh, okay, this is the part in the trailer where this happens, and this is the part that we saw in the trailer where this happens. And man, on the flip side, what's annoying about all this footage that we've been seeing is that a lot of times we see stuff in the trailers and in the commercials that don't end up being in the movie. There's stuff that like they've already cut out of the movie. They've already like re-edited the movie or whatever, or sometimes they've reshot certain scenes, and now that's not even in the movie, and then that's disappointing, because then we're like, oh, what happened to that shot, that cool shot of, you know, that we saw in the trailer of whatever. And you know, so as a Star Wars fan, as a as a movie fan, like I think trailers are exciting. I prefer the teaser, because the teaser does exactly that. It teases you to, oh my gosh, what is this movie going to be about? And if it's a good teaser, that's all you need. Like, I'm sold. Like, if it's a good teaser, I'm sold. Sign me up. I'll be there. When does it come out? I'll be there. But then you get like these 2.5, sometimes 3-minute trailers that are basically like breaking down the entire story arc of the movie, like the entire plot. Sometimes it's already broken down. Now, it's not giving away all the intricacies and all the little details, but you're basically giving away what you're in for. Oh, this is gonna happen. This is gonna be the MacGuffin. This is gonna be the final confrontation. And then, oh, will he or won't she? You know, will she or won't she? Will they or won't they? That you'll have to wait to find out. But you basically know that it's all set up in the trailer. You know, so, and I really, really hate that. It's so, it's so frustrating that they do that. And it's Star Wars. Like you gotta be somebody that is just really disconnected with pop culture and society. Like, basically, like, you gotta be completely cut off from the world. You gotta be Luke Skywalker on Ahch-To, like, cut off from the Force, living in exile, like, no Wi-Fi, no nothing, to not know what Star Wars is, or that there's a Star Wars movie coming out, and that it's a big deal. So, I just don't understand why the extra marketing for this movie. Like, you have Disney Plus, you have The Mandalorian that's just rocking and rolling, man. It's just amazing. And as I'm recording this right now, this is gonna go up later today. You know, I can't wait to see episode 5 of The Mandalorian, and I'll talk about it next week. But, you know, like, everybody knows that Star Wars is a big deal. And even if you don't know, like, what Star Wars movie this is, oh, what is this, episode what? Look, you know, okay, you know, but still, it's, man, it's just so frustrating. But anyway, that's kind of like my little rant on that. But that's really like one of the things I wanted to mention. But the other thing that I kind of want to talk about, just to kind of switch gears and kind of get your input. If you're watching this video, please, you know, if you get some value from it, if you enjoy it, please, you know, hit the like button and, you know, subscribe to our channel. With this whole YouTube thing, this COPA thing going on, I don't know what's going to happen to this channel, if it's going to end up being a kids only channel, or if I'm going to have to just label the majority of the videos that are already on the channel as kids videos. And then moving forward, I got to be better at making sure that the videos look like they're geared more towards adults, because really this channel is for all family. It's an all family channel. I think this is the reason I started this YouTube channel, is because I love Star Wars, and I have 3 sons who, as they've kind of started to develop as little people and, you know, starting to show their likes and dislikes, you know, they started to really like Star Wars. I mean, I gave them a little nudge, but they really like Star Wars. And, you know, and I have a lot of Star Wars toys from the 90s that I bought and collected with my younger brother. And, you know, we kind of made an agreement that I would be, because I have an attic, I would be the bearer of keeping all our stuff, our childhood stuff, up there in our attic. And my brother and I would start collecting, and after a while we stopped opening and we just started collecting figures. And this has still gone on to this day. We still, you know, when we see a cool figure that we like, we'll buy it, we'll put it in our bin, and just kind of our hope is to one day, if one of us has a house, we'll be able to have like a big Star Wars room and be able to display everything like so many people do that are collectors and fans. But based on all that, you know, I started buying Star Wars toys for the boys to play with at a young age, and they gravitated toward it and loved it. And so we would do little videos every now and then, and I just kind of thought, well, you know what, like, I should make like a YouTube channel of it, you know. So we started this YouTube channel. My wife came up with the name, you know, instead of Jedi instead of Jedi Masters, right, Jedi Knight, whatever, we decided to go Jedi Toy Masters. So but it's not just about toys, you know. It's just about really us as a family enjoying Star Wars together and sharing my love of Star Wars with my boys. And it's also an outlet for me as a dad who is busy with work and fatherhood and being a husband and all the other responsibilities as an adult. This is kind of like my way of kind of also being able to have an outlet to talk about the thing that I geek out about the most, which is Star Wars. You know, in my life, it was always Star Wars and Superman. So, you know, there was a time where Smallville was on TV for like 10 years, and that's the thing that I used to geek out about probably the most during that time. You know, after Star Wars had become kind of the only thing Star Wars at that point was the Revenge of the Sith, and then the Clone Wars cartoon, which I didn't get into at first, but this is something that I geek out to, and so it's something that I can share with my boys, and we can share together as a family, and that's what the channel is really about. It's more like an all ages channel where you as an adult fan could watch the content and enjoy it. You can also watch it with your kids and enjoy it, because my boys are hilarious, and I think, you know, I don't want to deprive the world of their cuteness, and they're just really just amazing amazingness that they are, if that's a word. But I don't know what's going to happen January 1st with this whole thing with YouTube. But anyway, all that to say, thank you for watching this video up until now. Please make sure you like and subscribe. And one of the things that I wanted to really ask is, what do you think about this whole, not the whole, but like, what do you think about Star Wars toys? Oops, and I accidentally turned the radio on. What do you think about Star Wars toys? The state of Star Wars toys today? Because it just seems like they still are releasing Star Wars toys that are obviously geared towards kids. Obviously, it's all for kids, but there is a lot more collector-friendly toys, or toys that are geared more towards the adult toy consumer, because not everybody is a collector. I think you can like Star Wars and not be a Star Wars toy collector and just really enjoy the toys and just, you know, buy them because they're really cool, and you want to maybe like buy a few and do like a little diorama on your bookshelf or something, or just have them on display and on your desk in your office, you know, because it's part of your childhood. And the quality of the figures nowadays is so superior. But then there's also figures that kind of give you that throwback feel of the original Kenner toys. So, and I think like Hasbro specifically has kind of tapped into that, where they know that you have a lot of fans that are adults and have kids as well, but they, you know, for the most part, will buy these toys to collect. And unfortunately, there's also those that buy stuff and, you know, they like buy them all up and then they start selling them for like 3 times what they're worth, which is not fair, because most of us kind of go through phases. I think the whole idea of toy collecting nowadays is that, you know, you buy something, you really enjoy it, maybe you open it, maybe you don't open it, but at the end of the day, if you decide, well, you know what, I think I want to switch up my collection a little bit, let me sell this stuff, you try to sell it for a reasonable price, because you want to at least try to get your money back, or try to get enough so that you can recoup some of that money that you invested initially, and then buy the stuff that you really want at that point. And I think that's really more the fair way of kind of like toy collecting. Obviously, there's toys that are very rare and valuable. There's toys that, you know, that are, you know, worth more, and it's, you know, the worth is up to the person that needs it. You know, if it's in demand, obviously high demand, high value, high price. But what do you guys think about the state of Star Wars toys right now? I'd love to know in the comments below. If you've watched this video up until this point, thanks again. Please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what you think of the state of Star Wars toys. I'll tell you real quick as I wrap it up. For me right now, you know, I bought into the whole Power of the Force 2 in the 90s. You know, I bought a bunch of figures for my younger brother for Christmas one year. You know, I had a little part-time job and I saved up and I just bought him a bunch of figures. and we opened them up and we played with them, and then we started buying the vehicles. We got the Millennium Falcon and the X-Wing and A-Wing and Slave One, and there's another video on our channel that you can check out where we talk about that, or we show off some of those. And if you saw us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram. There's a live stream where I was talking about some vintage figures that we have, and you can see some of the other toys that we have on display. So please check this out on Instagram as well, at Jedi Toy Masters. But you know, soon after we started buying them and playing with them, then we started kind of just buying them because they were so cool looking, but we didn't want to open them because we already had like the figures that we wanted to play with, and everything else was just kind of like, well, we just want to like save these because they're so cool looking. And then at the end of the day, we also thought, well, maybe they'll be valuable one day. Let's, you know, if we're not going to play with them, let's definitely buy them, but let's just save them. And that's what we started to do. And so we have tons of figures from, you know, from like the late, like 99, 98, 99, and then we have a lot of the episode 1 figures that came out during that time. And then, you know, we have like a bunch of figures that are then more modern, you know, and we just started buying up figures. And I kind of slowed down as I you know, grew up a little bit more and started to, you know, I met my wife, and then, you know, we got married, started a life together, and then, you know, priorities changed. But my brother, he kept buying up toys and figures whenever he would see a cool figure, especially when the vintage collection figures started to really come out. He started to do that. So soon after that, like, you know, with The Force Awakens coming out in 2015, like the toys started to really pick up steam. And so I missed out on the whole era of the Clone Wars toys, and I missed out on that because, and I think those are probably one of the best toy lines since the original Kenner line. But anyway, so long story long, we have a lot of stuff that's kind of like all mixed up, like different types of stuff. And it's really more of like, if I see something that I like, I'm gonna pick it up. It's so tempting to want to collect everything. The completist in you wants to just collect everything. But there's things that I won't collect. Like, I tried to stay away from anything The Last Jedi. I didn't really buy a lot of episode 7, The Force Awakens figures. And the stuff that I did buy, I've since probably sold, just to get rid of and make room and make way, you know, to purchase the stuff that I really do want. I actually started picking up a lot of 6-inch Black Series figures during Rogue One, because I really liked those stormtroopers, and the Scarif Trooper and the Hover Tank Troopers, and the Death Trooper. But soon after that, I realized, you know, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole and just collect 6-inch figures. I need to limit myself to some. And I didn't really think it through, and I just started selling off my 6-inch figures. And then I realized, well, I should have kept the ones that I actually did like the Scarif Trooper. I really did like that figure. That was the first 6-inch figure I bought, and I actually sold it. And I'm like, crap, I should have kept that one because I actually like that one. So since then, you know, I have the Mandalorian figure, the 6-inch, which is really cool, and I have IG-11, and I've picked up a couple others, and I still have some that I do want to get rid of. Hit me up on Instagram if you want to see some pictures of the ones that I have, and I'd be glad to work something out with you. So all that to say is, like, my way of collecting is kind of like all over the place, but I do know that I've narrowed it down to, I really love vintage collection. I really want to stick to 3 3/4-inch figures. And I really like being able to pick up loose figures whenever I can, like used, obviously, loose figures, because I also want to be able to have figures that I can sit down with my boys and display and play with, and just have fun with, because that's what they were meant to do. You know, they were meant to be played with. So anyway, all that said, let me know, what is the state of Star Wars toys for you? Let me know in the comments below, what line of Star Wars toys do you stick to? What does your Star Wars toy collection look like? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to find out, like, what you guys think. And thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I can't wait till we watch episode 5 of The Mandalorian tonight. And if you like this video, check out some of the other ones, and check us out on Instagram as well. Whew, that was a lot. Have a great weekend, guys. May the force be with you.
So what I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
I'm glad you're here to tell us these things.
You're going to find that many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view.
What are you talking about?